I'm here with a lot of clams on one of the islands just out away from Non-Madal. You think about a clam and pearls. It gets a teeny single grain of sand inside somehow. It begins an irritation process, and that clam excretes and forms a wrapping around that sand seed, as it were, and it grows and grows until it produces a gorgeous and beautiful pearl. Today, we're going to look at some irritation, and we're going to look at what happened in some beautiful pearls. Stay tuned. You know, when Jesus came to this earth, he came with the specific purpose of calling us back to himself. We'd wandered far away, and his every act was designed to draw us closer. Much of his time was spent in relieving suffering and pain. He's called us to do the same, hence the mission of Canvasback, to be the healing hands to a suffering world. Tell me what you think of what Canvasback is doing here at the hospital, the team that comes to...
Oh, fantastic. I wish they could be here for 6 months. Because beyond 6 months, then they would not have patients. So.
Okay, but there's 6 months worth of patients.
Yeah, I think so, because they need to go through the process of exam. And some of them may not need, but there's a lot of them that need but have not been able to come.
We do your breath. Yeah. I want you to hold this up for me. Let's see how it's doing today.
TCO, DCCO, LDPOF, PTOGET.
So Mara, do you understand any of the language now that you've been here?
I don't. I don't. I really need to work on it a little bit, though. I know I can tell when they say good.
I know one thing,
That's
though, you
about
understand
it.
the language of love, and so do they.
Yeah, I think a lot is expressed through body language. When we don't have that communication, we can still just smile and make them feel comfortable without really understanding their language at all.
Now, Mara, you're here at the Canvasback mission. Why are you here?
Volunteerism is an important role in what I do personally, and as well as with our clinic.
And what's your expertise?
So ophthalmic techs at our clinic, we work up patients. We kind of triage what the needs might be and then move forward and communicate it to the doctor.
How many years have you worked at your clinic?
Almost 5.
5 years. So you got 5 years of experience. And I assume you get a little vacation from your clinic, but I've also got a feeling you spend that vacation time here.
Doing other volunteer events. This is my first time in Ponape.
Okay.
So it's exciting.
Why on earth do you spend vacation time volunteering and doing more of the thing that you do at home?
There's just in our house, there's a saying that hope anchors the soul. And I think when we volunteer, we provide hope to other people. And doing that is really important. So it's something that I get fulfillment from. And I'm starting to pass it on to my kids. My kids have been joining me on some of the events, and it's really even better to see as a parent when your children become that same person and giving back and finding the joy out of doing so.
And now your children are joining, not overseas.
Not overseas.
Okay.
I would bring them. This was my first time going overseas, so I wanted to try first, and then there's potential. I would love to have them do it.
And what do you think of this experience now that you're here?
It's amazing. I am full of gratitude for the opportunity. The people are very patient with us as we learn our quirks and trying to work out our kinks, and they're very grateful for the services they're getting, so it makes it even more rewarding.
Now, I know there's no way that we can possibly capture all the people and the lives that have been changed, but what are some of the the moments that you've peeled back those bandages and you've had some really cool experiences?
There have been, we have a patient who's actually a retina patient. So the anticipation after cataract surgery wasn't to improve his vision. It was actually to improve our view to correct his retina. But yesterday when we took his tape off, we took it off and he said, "That's what I'm talking about." And those are the moments that you get that, okay, this is really why I'm here. Or there was a gentleman yesterday, we took the tape off and they're very reserved here, so they don't show emotion, but he became very welled up and had tears in his eyes and said, "It's good, it's good." And so those are the moments that you go, this is why I'm here. Even if it's just a handful, they're worth it.
There's other people maybe today that are kind of thinking about, maybe, I'd like to go sometime. What would you tell those people if they're hesitating?
I would say don't hesitate, participate. I think that we all have the time to volunteer if we make it, and it's something that you cannot monetarily ever put a value on.
So you truly see Canvasback making an impact on lives.
Huge. I think it's an amazing. Jackie has a program that is unlike any other I've seen, and I participate in quite a few. In the U.S. it's a little different, but she has it down to a science, and it's an amazing program. The things are very well thought out. They're very much return on investment is beyond measure with the monetary value.
Now you say the ROI, return on investment. Here it's free, right? The clinic basically, if what Canvasback is doing is free.
Correct.
But I understand if you took a doctor back in the United States and did some of these procedures, you could be $10,000, $12,000 by the time hospital and anesthetist. And
yeah, I mean, average out-of-pocket costs for cataract surgery without post-op is upwards of $7,000 per patient for just a standard lens. And so that's significant to be able to provide. And when we provide that to the people here, it comes back to the community. You have someone who has been able to be a contributing member of the community who's able to do those things and work and be able to help care for potentially grandchildren so their children can work. There's a whole bigger picture that is part of that process. So it's nice to see that.
I heard one story, I think it was a previous clinic not long ago, where the fellow came in, he said, "I can't fish anymore, I can't do anything for myself anymore, I can't go swimming." This happened to be he had an ear situation. Doctors took care of him. I mean, and he was so overjoyed. He said, "I can fish again, I can swim, I can stand out in the rain." He said, it's like, stand out in the rain. We never think of something like that.
No.
But these people, there's so many ways that Canvasback does impact their lives.
It's huge. I mean, you have patients who are hand motion in both eyes. So they're walking around the world literally watching shadows. And they have to have help. They cannot go to the store themselves. They can't see what they're purchasing. They can't get their own food. They can't prep their own meals. There's a lot that comes with your vision that we take for granted without looking at situations like these. And I think that's the biggest part.
So now it frees up not only them, but a family member, at least one family member too, to be more productive in life. Wow. You going to do this again?
Absolutely.
Why?
I think being able to help people in this way is something that you have to experience to understand it. And the amount of personal fulfillment I get from volunteering is something that I can't get doing anything else. So, and I love my job just as much as I love volunteering because I'm fortunate enough to get paid to do something I love, but giving back is a really important thing.
And we talked a moment ago about the ROI, receiving on investment. The investment by the donors, it's multiplied, right, as we talked about. If you wouldn't mind, talk with our donors for a moment, or someone who may be considering giving to Canvasback. Why should they do it?
I think that when you invest in a person, the investment you get back in the form of a community is priceless. There's no dollar amount you can put on that. And if something as simple as a $10 donation, I mean, that's 2 cups of coffee for us. But you can provide someone the ability to have an entire life of freedom again. That's a pretty big return on investment. So Jackie's program is amazing. Canvasback has been amazing. So
I know you've got to go. You've got a stack of patients and you've got to finish lunch.
Stack of charts.
But tell me, is there any last thing you'd like to share?
I think that this is my first overseas volunteer program, hopefully not my last. I would definitely participate again. It's well run, it's well received, and it's well tuned. And I think that it's a very important, impactful program that's much needed.
Mara, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a busy schedule, you got to go, but thanks again.
Yes, thank you.
All right. The super teams are making an impact on hearts and lives, a miracle at a time, but there's more, so stay tuned.
Canvas-backed Missions has been changing hearts and lives in the islands of Micronesia for nearly 4 decades. Founders Jamie and Jackie Spence once ferried medical and dental teams by catamaran and ship across the Pacific Ocean. But when small hospitals were established on many island nations, the mode of operation changed, as did the needs of the people. To this day, however, these hospitals lack medical specialists to perform the most difficult surgeries. On an ongoing basis, Canvasback flies all volunteer super teams to the islands to conduct surgeries and to train local medical staff. Teams are usually comprised of specialists in the fields of gynecology, orthopedics, ophthalmology, ENT, dental, and others as needed. They dedicate 2 weeks of life-changing mission work to relieve the pain and suffering of the people. If you would like to volunteer for 2 weeks of life-changing work, log on to canvasback.org and follow the prompts to volunteer.
Rabudi was born blind. That's right, he couldn't see at all. The entire family were his caregivers. Their lives were completely tied to the needs of their little son. The doctors at the hospital lacked the experience to provide him with surgical help. This situation continued for 6 long years. Making less than $100 per month, there was no way to ever afford the surgery. Even if they could fly off island, the surgery in another country could be $12,000. It looked like all hope was gone. Enter the Canvasback Super Team. Rabudi was examined and the surgery was performed. The day the bandages came off, he saw his parents and siblings for the very first time. He and the family were set free. There are more children like Rabudi who are in desperate need. You can change many lives. Please give sight to the blind. Log on to canvasback.org today to give your gift of love.
Kazumi was about 7 years old when she experienced ear infections in both ears. Her mother took her to the doctors, but they couldn't seem to clear up the infections. A couple of years passed and she began to lose some hearing. Her family saved up all the money they could and took her to another country looking for help. But all of the doctor's attempts failed. 2 more years passed, and Kazumi had lost most of her hearing. Her classmates tried to compensate by talking louder or standing in front of her directly so she could read their lips. Then a Canvasback ENT super team arrived and did surgery on both ears. Kazumi's hearing was restored. For almost 4 decades, Canvasback has been changing hearts and lives 1 miracle at a time. But your financial help is needed to keep this important work going. If you would like to volunteer or be a financial partner, log on to canvasback.org.
I understand a huge number of people here are affected by diabetes, 60, 70%.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And it would be even better here because we have raw materials. It's just a matter of how do you prepare it.
Yeah.
In the Marshall Islands, they have to import.
Very little, yeah. Very little.
But here, it's just a matter of getting into the habit of changing the diet from imports, from using oil and stuff like this.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll have to work together.
Yeah, I
See what we
wish,
can do.
I wish I were young to take on this kind of challenge.
Well, you're not that old. Yeah, well, well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Today is a great day.
What is the vision here?
2030.
Oh, praise God.
His left eye improved from 20/80 to 20/40 now that the edema's.
Oh, I'm so happy. That is great. And I'm glad that you postponed your trip and that we could take care of you.
I forgot how it feels to
be
see clearly.
Wow, that's great.
So I've got to ask, are you happy that Canvasback is here?
Certainly.
Oh, great. Good. So now where does
He's going to
go?
either Dr. Van Brocklin or one of the ODs to take a look.
Okay.
But he, 2025 with a little correction.
Oh, wow.
Good with you?
You're great with me.
Thank you so
yes,
much.
have a fun day.
Thank you.
Enjoy your
I'm really happy for you. I love the smile, and it was an honor to be able to take care of you.
Thank you for this. Thank you.
Missouri, I checked. They told me I have cataract. Went to Hawaii, same thing. I was in Washington. I couldn't do it. My daughter said I would. She would have helped me take me to the.
You couldn't stir.
Here's the best part. She was going to go to Washington in Olympia to our clinic in Olympia, and she ended up getting the same surgeon she would have had she gone and had surgery in Olympia. So what are the odds of being across the country?
So your surgeon had to chase you clear across the world to give you the same
He
surgery.
followed you.
Followed me.
Well, God must have wanted you to have this surgery, huh?
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna clean the purple X off of your forehead, okay?
And for our viewers, the X is because that's the eye that had that surgery.
Yes, just like any other body part, you're going to have knee surgery and they're gonna mark which leg it is that's getting the surgery and which arm. They do that just not because of competence issues, but just reassurance. There's a lot of people that go back. Most clinics do about 40, well, of the PCLI group, they do about 40 surgeries, 40 to 45 each day. So count fingers only.
Okay.
So and it was a significant cataract where they couldn't see the back of the eye. So those are always, we don't know what's back there until we're, how are you? Come in, sit down.
I see a smiling face.
Were you comfortable last night? Yes? Good. Good. Are you excited? Let's get that tape off.
They tell me that you could only count some fingers, is all you could see. You're doing good though?
Yeah.
All right. We're anxious to see if you can see anything more than fingers today.
I know. You are too, right? Are you excited? I'm excited for you. So let's get this tape off. Sorry, I'm going to try not to take your eyebrows with it. They don't tell you about the free eyebrow wax we offer.
The free eyebrow offer.
There you go. Sorry. Good. Bandage this.
Yeah, in the States they charge a lot to pluck
We
those
do.
eyebrows.
What do you think? Can you see a little bit? Yeah, you're probably going to be blurry.
Yeah. Before, I covered this one eye, couldn't see anything.
Can you see me here a little
Yes.
bit? I'm a handsome guy, right? Yeah. A cowboy. Well, she can see. She can see.
Look up for me. I'm going to try to just get a little bit of the debris that's in there out.
I hope you enjoyed watching the patients having their bandages removed after surgery. I never get tired of watching the process. They look at the chart and begin reading line after line when just the previous day, many couldn't even see a hand wave in front of them. Even though surgeries can cost $7,000 to $12,000 per patient, Canvasback services are free. Yes, free. These dear people make about $30 to $50 per month. Without our medical super teams, they would have no hope of recovering their sight. You can bring hope to these dear people by partnering with us. Please send your gifts of love today. You'll be changing lives, guaranteed.
To be a part of this exciting ministry, you can write us at Canvasback Missions, 940 Adams Street, Suite R, Benicia, California, 94510. You can also log on to canvasback.org or call us at 707-746-7828. Thank you for watching. Please join me again for another exciting island adventure. Remember, Canvasback is making an impact on hearts and lives, one miracle at a time.